Philadelphia Eagles fans, it's that time of year again where optimism runs high in every new update out of the NovaCare complex feels like a glimpse into what could be an unforgettable season. Training camp is just around the corner, and after what we've seen and heard throughout this offseason, it's hard not to get excited. From OTA letters to mandatory minicamp, and even players grinding on their own time, this Eagles squad has been making serious noise. Whether it's the household names you'd expect or the young guns trying to make a name for themselves, the energy coming out of Philly right now feels electric. Let's start right at the top with the face of the franchise, Jalen Hurts. There's been a lot of buzz about how sharp QB1 has looked during practices this spring. With the media present for 3 of those sessions, the reports coming out have been overwhelmingly positive. Hurts went 5-4-5 on his throws in those open practices, no interceptions, just pure, efficient football. Sure, it's only spring, and nobody's hitting anybody, but you can't ignore how much cleaner and quicker Hurts looks going through his reads. Watching him now, compared to where he was just 2 seasons ago, is night and day. Back then, there were practices where he'd hold onto the ball way too long, even in 7-on-7 drills where the quarterback is expected to get the ball out almost immediately. There were reps where you'd hear guys on the field yelling at him to let it go. That's not the case anymore. Hurts has evolved. Now, when something's not there, he checks it down, moves on, and keeps the offense flowing. It's clear he's processing the defense at a much higher level. The confidence, the command of the offense, the speed at which he's making decisions, these are all things you want to see heading into a critical season. If Hurts is making these strides in practice, it's only a matter of time before it fully translates on Sundays this fall, and let me tell you, I can't wait to see how he takes this next step. There's this feeling that as good as he's been, he's still got even more levels to unlock. But Jalen hasn't been the only standout this offseason. While he's been carving up defenses in practice, his number 1 target, A.J. Brown, has been dominating in his own way. Whether it's hitting the pool for resistance training or pushing himself to exhaustion inside one of the most intense gyms in the country, A.J. has been on a mission. The man even took it to the next level by running stairs at Lincoln Financial Field alongside fellow wide receiver Anaya Smith. That's dedication. Every video we've seen of him training screams one thing: this guy is locked in. A.J. wants another Super Bowl ring, and judging by the way he's attacking this offseason, he's not leaving anything to chance. And speaking of wide receivers, let's talk about Jahan Dotson. With A.J. and Devonta Smith not getting many reps this spring, Dotson sees the opportunity. The connection between him and Hurts during OTA letters and minicamp has been hard to ignore. Reports from those who watched practices said Dotson caught every single pass thrown his way during the 3 open sessions. That's not an exaggeration. After a quiet first year in Philly, where he struggled to find a role, Dotson is finally looking like the first-round talent he was drafted to be. Having a full offseason with the team, building chemistry with Hurts, and knowing the playbook inside and out, it's all starting to show. And considering the strength of the Eagles' upcoming schedule, where passing the ball might become more of a necessity, Dotson could end up playing a pivotal role in this offense. Now, if Dotson has been a pleasant surprise, then Terrace Marshall Jr. has been an outright shocker. The former Panther and Raider wideout is making a serious push for a roster spot during minicamp. He worked with both the first and second team offenses and made several standout plays. One report highlighted how he beat Cooper DeJean for a touchdown on a slant from Hurts. When you're making plays like that in front of coaches and teammates, especially while battling for one of the few open spots in a loaded wide receiver room, people take notice. Marshall's name wasn't on many radars heading into the spring, but if he keeps this up, it'll be hard to leave him off the final 53-man roster. Of course, the wide receivers aren't the only position group making waves. Let's shift gears and talk about the backfield, specifically Saquon Barkley. After putting together a historic 2,000-yard season, breaking records, and showing the league what elite running back play looks like, many wondered how he'd bounce back. Would there be any wear and tear? Would we see signs of regression? According to those watching practices, the answer is a resounding no. Barkley has looked fresh, explosive, and ready to dominate again. Coaches and teammates have praised how he's looked during drills, running routes like he's already in mid-season form. Even Barkley himself has said he feels like he's entering his prime. Imagine that, a guy coming off one of the best seasons a running back has ever had, now saying he's just getting started. That's scary news for opposing defenses. Another guy with sky-high expectations this year is linebacker Zach Bond, coming off a season where he racked up over 150 tackles and was a legit Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Bond isn't satisfied. He's been vocal about areas where he still wants to improve. Watching tape from last year, he's identified missed tackles, missed opportunities for forced fumbles, and places where he knows he can elevate his game even further. And let's not forget last year was Bond's first full season playing inside linebacker after making the switch from edge rusher. Add another year of experience in Vic Fangio's system, and it's easy to see why the coaching staff believes Bond's ceiling is still rising. While we're on the subject of players getting better with age and experience, Lane Johnson deserves a mention. At 35 years old, the future Hall of Famer is saying he feels better now than he did 5 years ago. After dealing with injuries and multiple surgeries earlier in his career, Lane says his body finally feels right. Watching film from the 2021 season compared to now, it's clear that Johnson has regained mobility and strength in ways that were missing back then. And that's coming directly from him. As wild as it sounds, Lane truly believes he's peaking as a player right now. That's great news for an offensive line that will once again be counted on to set the tone for this Eagles offense. But Lane hasn't just been focused on himself. He's also had some high praise for several of the Eagles' new defensive linemen. When asked who stood out the most among the edge rushers during spring practices, the first name out of his mouth was Josh Uch. Lane talked about Uch's quickness, his ability to play low despite his height, and how versatile he's looked so far. Keep in mind, Lane has gone up against some of the best pass rushers in the league, so for him to single out Uch as a standout says a lot. And Uch wasn't the only one earning Lane's praise. The next guy mentioned was Azeez Ojulari. Lane said he's faced Ojulari plenty of times back when Azeez was in New York, and the fact that Ojulari's name came up right after Uch's suggests that he's made a strong impression during minicamp as well. Ojulari has shown flashes in the past, and now with a fresh start in Philly, he's looking to stay healthy and deliver on his potential. But perhaps the biggest breakout candidate Lane talked about is second-year edge rusher Jalex Hunt. According to Lane, Hunt has gained weight, refined his technique, and looks poised to make a huge leap this season. For a guy who already made noise in the playoffs as a rookie, the thought of Hunt taking another step forward should have Eagles fans hyped. Reports out of minicamp even said Hunt gave All-Pro tackle Jordan Mailata a tough time during drills. If he can cause problems for Mailata in practice, imagine what he could do against opposing tackles on game day. And speaking of giving Mailata fits, there's another name that popped up. Jordan Davis, the fourth-year defensive tackle, is reportedly in the best shape of his career. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio has been singing his praises, specifically pointing out Davis's growth as a pass rusher. Fangio mentioned that Davis's pressure rate jumped significantly towards the end of last season and into the playoffs, where he actually led the entire Eagles defense in pressure percentage. That's a huge development for a guy who already commands double teams as a run stopper. Now, if Davis can add pass rushing consistency to his game, he's going to be a problem for offensive lines across the league. Another defensive lineman generating buzz is Jalen Carter, already considered one of the best young defensive tackles in football. There's still a sense that Carter hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can become. Some inside sources have even said that Carter doesn't fully know how to play the position yet and is still relying mostly on raw talent. Think about that for a second. If what we saw last season was Carter playing on instinct, just imagine what he'll look like once he's fully comfortable in the system and understands all the finer details of the position. The sky is the limit for this guy, and the Eagles know it. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could become one of the most surprising twists of the offseason, whispers around the league suggest that quarterback McWilliams may be regretting his decision to join the Eagles. According to sources close to the situation, McWilliams was recently overheard calling his move to Philadelphia "my worst choice," sending shockwaves through fans and analysts alike. While no official statement has been released by the player or the team, the alleged quote has already ignited speculation about McWilliams' future with the franchise. The quarterback, who arrived in Philly with high expectations and a sizable contract, was expected to bring stability to the position and lead the team into a new era. Instead, murmurs from within the locker room hint at frustration, disconnect, and mounting pressure fueling the notion that McWilliams may already be eyeing a way out. The Eagles have not responded publicly to the rumors, but internal tensions may be bubbling just beneath the surface. Some insiders point to McWilliams' rocky relationship with the offensive staff, while others believe the team's lackluster performance last season may have contributed to his growing disillusionment. It's also worth noting that McWilliams, known for his fiery personality, has never been one to hold back when things aren't going his way. Whether this is merely a moment of emotional venting or the beginning of a deeper rift remains to be seen. But around the league, teams are certainly watching closely if McWilliams truly wants out. Trade talks could ignite before the start of the new season, especially with quarterback-needy franchises lurking in the wings. For now, all eyes are on the Eagles' front office. Can they patch things up with their star quarterback, or is the damage already done? One thing's for sure, in the world of football, no rumor is too wild to become reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.